everybody, and welcome back for another episode of Spill the D. I'm Gina. I'm one of your hosts, and I'm joined here, as always, with my handsome co-host, Rick. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. For anybody listening the day this comes out, we are gearing up for our next Disney trip, and that's all you really need in life.
My countdown is it's ticking, and I'm going crazy.
I know, you got less than a week, and I have exactly a week.
Exactly a week. I'm going a little crazy here. I'm getting a little stir crazy, everybody. But if you don't already know, we're going to Disney next week. So if you're not already following us on social media, make sure to follow us. While we are there, we're going to be doing so many things, including a Disney vacation called Moonlight Magic, which is an after-hours event in Animal Kingdom. Mm-hmm. We're also going to be attending Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party and attending Jollywood Nights at Hollywood Studios. So 3 pretty big events that we're going to be covering on our social media while we're there. So make sure you're following us.
Yeah, we're going to be very busy while we're down there. If you're going to be down there at the same time as us, feel free to say hi to us if you see us.
Mm-hmm. We're going to have so much fun. It's Christmas. Oh, I'm so excited. But until then, we're killing time by recording. So we have one piece of Disney news. Not really much released in the last week, especially not anything that's really going to affect your vacation, except one ticket deal for Disneyland that we think you all need to know about. So if you are a Disney Plus subscriber and you want to go to Disneyland Resort in California, they are offering a ticket deal right now. That is, if you buy a 2-day ticket, you actually get a 3-day ticket for free. So it's going to be a 3-day ticket with admission to 1 park per day. You can upgrade to a park hopper or a lightning lane, but for the 3-day ticket, you're going to pay $330, which I know sounds like a lot, but it's not. I promise. When you look at what a 3-day ticket should cost, you are saving money.
Not what it should cost, what it does cost.
Yes, what it does cost. So that is going to be at Disneyland Resort in California, and it's going to go from November 18th until December 27th. So if you want to go for the holiday season, plan that last-minute trip, now is the time.
Yes, and this is Disneyland only, correct?
Disneyland only, California. Mm-hmm. So if you're interested in booking that, make sure that you book it with our friends at 407 and Beyond Vacation Co. They will take care of everything for you and make sure that you get the best deal possible, which could include this ticket. It could not if there's other deals going that could also be better, but most likely it's going to include this ticket. We are the official podcast of 407 and Beyond Vacation Co. They are a Disney and Universal Orlando travel agency that books and plans family vacations to destinations such as Walt Disney World, Universal, Disneyland, Disney Cruise Line, Sandals, Royal Caribbean, so much more. It doesn't cost any extra to book with them. Their travel agents do everything for free so that all you have to do is show up and have fun and create memories. You can get a free no obligation quote at 407vacations.com.
Yeah, we will also be down in Disney with some of the 407 family. You're going to be with Megan on Monday, I believe, correct?
I'm going to be with Meg. I'm going to see Libby. I'm going to see Erica. I'm going to see Bruce. I'm making my way around. I'm just making my way around.
If you're not already following them on social media, go give them a follow as well, because stuff will be posted on their stories as well.
Yes, all of the Christmas fun.
Yeah.
Okay, are you ready?
Yeah.
So today we are talking about one of the hardest things we've ever had to do. We are picking our top 5 attractions at Hollywood Studios and our bottom 2 attractions at Hollywood Studios, the ones that we like the least.
That was the tough part for me.
I really struggled. And I actually struggled to order the 5. So if you're new here, Hollywood Studios for both of us is our favorite park.
Yeah.
For a while, mine was Magic Kingdom, then I finally gave in and admitted it was Hollywood Studios. So it was very hard to narrow it down. We also justified attraction as we included shows. Mm-hmm. Anything that has like a wait time or the show time where you have to wait in line for it. So no shows that just pop up. But if there's a theater for it, if you go and you sit down and you watch the show, we counted that. Mm-hmm. So top 5, I'm thinking we start from 5 and we work our way up to 1, going back and forth.
Okay.
I'm worried that we're going to have some crossover, but I'm excited to see the logic on things.
Do we want to finish with our least favorite, or do we want to start with those?
No, I think we finish with our least favorite.
Okay.
Because my least favorite, I think, is really going to stir up some controversy, and I want the listeners to be stuck waiting for it and to hear it so they can yell at me at the end of the episode and not turn it off and write a bad review right away.
Okay, sounds good.
They can stay and hear all the fun that we have before they write the review.
Okay, that's fair. Sounds good.
All right, so top 5. I'm going to let you go first. Give me your number 5.
All right, my number 5 is actually Rock and Roller Coaster.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I'm famously not the biggest fan of indoor roller coasters, i.e. Space Mountain. But I do like Rock and Roller Coaster. I don't really know what the difference is. I think I narrowed it down though when we were in Disneyland because I enjoyed the Space Mountain more there, and I think the fact that I have someone next to me makes me enjoy it more.
You get scared. It's okay. It's okay. I get it.
It's not that I get scared.
No,
it's
it's fine.
just
I get
don't
scared
like
on
dark
Haunted
roller
Mansion.
coasters.
I get it. I get it. I think it could also be the harness, maybe.
It might be.
Because you don't like dark roller coasters, so maybe the fact that it's a chest harness and not a waist harness makes you feel a little safer.
Yeah, maybe because I'm like in there.
Yeah.
Not
like,
just like sitting.
That chest harness covers you, and you can't even like put your arms up.
Yeah.
For the average adult, their arms cannot go through there.
That might be it. I don't know.
It could be a safety thing.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe I'm just big into safety.
Maybe safety begins with Rick.
It's true. You can't spell.
That's safety begins with me. Is the Disney's tagline for their cast members? Sorry, that was.
Oh, I never worked at Disney, so.
Yeah, that's one of their taglines. It's safety begins with me.
Okay, so that's a Disney cast member tagline.
Yeah, so
okay.
Any cast member listening was just like, ha, she's so funny, and anyone not listening now gets the joke. You're welcome.
Anyone not listening was with me.
It was with you. That was
confused.
Like, you can't, dummy, you can't spell. Safety begins with Rick.
But yeah, Rock and Roller Coaster, it's a classic. The music on it is fantastic. The track itself is fantastic. And I feel like I have to ride it when I go.
You know what's funny? I also feel like I have to ride it when I go, and I love the ride, but it did not make my top 5 of attractions.
I completely understand that because there's, and like you said at the beginning of the episode, we both love Hollywood Studios. It's our favorite park. I've been a big fan of Hollywood Studios since the beginning, and you decided that you wanted to copy me and switch from Magic Kingdom and become a Hollywood Studios fan.
100%.
It's fine.
I'm glad you get me. You really do just get me.
But we both love everything in this park, so that's why it was so hard, especially to come up with our bottom 2. But top 5 was difficult too, but I had to put Rock and Roller Coaster on there.
For the record, my bottom one was easy. It was the second to last.
Okay.
Bottom I had no issue with. Okay. So yeah, Rock and Roller Coaster did not make mine, but it was close. I decided to go for number 5. I wanted to put a show in there.
Okay.
And I thought about how much I love, for the first time in forever, a Frozen sing-along.
It is a really good show.
So that's my number 5.
Do you like it because you remember the time when you ruined the show, or you actually enjoy the entire show?
No, I actually enjoy the entire show. Every single time. The time I ruined it was definitely my favorite time, but it has been successfully amazing every single time that I've seen it since.
I think we told the story maybe once or twice on the podcast before, but for those that haven't heard the story, Gina ruined the entire Frozen show by laughing at a joke.
It was possibly one of the funniest jokes. It also was the last day of our Walt Disney World vacation, and it caught me off guard. The guy just attacked Kristoff's hair, and it was the second time we had seen the show, and he didn't make that joke the time before that, and I just was laughing so hard, and I couldn't stop. And then when you get into like a laughing fit,
yeah,
and you're laughing at the fact that you're laughing then. And we were front row of this show. Could not have sat more toward the front. Like, we could reach out and touch the stage just about if it wasn't so far from the first seat.
Yeah.
And the cast literally stopped and was laughing with us. And I felt like, looking back, I'm like, oh my God, I was that person that ruined the show. But in the moment, like, the cast was laughing. We were laughing. Kristoff had to leave the stage.
He turned around at one point.
He had to turn around because he was laughing, and then finally he left the stage. He said, I gotta go find Anna, and left. And like, when we went back later, or maybe it was from before that, we knew like he wasn't supposed to leave yet.
Yeah.
Like, it was so funny. And yes, successfully, that show has been enjoyable every single time, even after that. Even if I don't ruin it, it's still successfully a great show.
No, it is a good show, and I think one of my favorite parts about it is everybody in the crowd sings.
And if you don't want to sing, you don't have to.
Yeah.
You're still going to enjoy it because it's just funny. They are comedians up there. They are so funny.
It's all dad jokes.
It's great. They really do crush it. It's that silly sense of humor. They have the adult jokes like kind of slid in there a little bit for you. Disney level adult jokes, but like when you watch Disney movies as an adult, you realize that there is some stuff hidden in there.
There's a lot of stuff in,
Yeah, and they're just slick with it. They're really funny, and I really enjoy the show. And if I get the chance to see it when I'm in Hollywood Studios, I make it a point to see it. My biggest issue with it, and this is with any show just about, unless it's the show at the end of the night, my ADHD brain can't comprehend showtimes. It really can't. Like, I'll be like, no, we so have time to make it. And then we missed 3 shows before I realized
Yeah.
that we didn't go back to that one show.
Yeah, and the last show was at 5:30.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Or when the show's end early, when I'm like, oh, we'll go to the 6:30 because
Yeah.
someone told me they were every hour. Nope, they were done at 5:30. Yeah.
There is the last show.
Yeah, it's out of sight, out of mind. I'll be
Mhm.
like, yeah, we'll go back to it later, and then I forget. So set an alarm on your phone if you think like I do and don't. And so set an alarm. That way you can go back and make sure that you get to see the show because it is funny and it is fun for kids and adults and teenagers and young adults, all ages. It's going to be a great show.
It is a good show. I don't have any shows on my list.
I have 2.
Well, on the top part of my list, anyway.
Interesting. Then I have. Yeah, okay. I'll stay quiet. Go ahead.
Okay.
I don't want to give too much away.
But number 4 on my list, we have. Oh, I thought I remembered it.
Drum
but no,
roll,
I don't.
please.
Toy Story Mania.
Whoa, that's lower than I thought it'd be.
Yeah. So.
Is it because you're not good at it?
No, I'm really good at it. I beat you every time.
That's not accurate at all.
No, I do enjoy the ride a lot. I don't know. There's just rides I enjoy more. You know what I mean? Like I said, it was tough. it was really tough to come up with a top 4. Like 5 I knew was going to be Rock and Roller Coaster, but the top 4 on any given day, I feel like these can flip flop. I mean, besides number 1, but like 2, 3, and 4, I feel like depending on how I'm feeling that day, they can all flip flop.
Okay.
And today, this just ended up being what I felt was number 4 on my list.
No, that's fair. I respect it. I think that's how my whole top 4 was as well. Or at least my top. No, that's how my whole top 3 was. My 3 were interchangeable.
Okay.
So I respect this one though.
Yeah, I think the other reason that I had it at 4 was because I have a tough time deciding whether it's better than Buzz Lightyear or not.
It is.
It's good, but I
hate
do
to
really
admit
enjoy
it.
Buzz Lightyear.
I like Buzz Lightyear, and I love the word that I'm going to use for Buzz Lightyear is the vintage feel. Like it feels
Okay.
like an old school Disney ride, where Toy Story Mania is definitely a new school Disney ride, but in the best way. You know what? It's not new school. It's mid school. It's back from like 2010 era, and it shows in the best way because I feel like there was some prime rides and prime Imagineering that
Yeah.
came out at that time, and this ride's one of them. It's so good.
The other issue is my arm always hurts at the end of it.
Yeah, I can live with that though. You know what? Sometimes fun is painful.
I guess that's true.
Yeah. So, I like running. I don't know. I'm used to it. It's fine. We played rugby in college. Like, fun is pain.
Yeah, it's a little different, but
Nope. I actually think of it the same way. It's a competition where I'm going to come out sore, but I'm going to have a great time. And win. And I'm going to win.
except for you don't win a Toy Story Mania.
Every single time. Can you stop lying to the listener?
I'm not lying. I beat you every time.
I have photos that prove you're wrong because I just need everyone to know he doesn't. He is messing with all of you. I'll admit, like, there are some games and, like, video games that he can beat me at. I'll get him out of them. Toy Story Mania, Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger Spin, and Mario Kart Wii does not stand a chance.
Mario Kart Wii, we go back and forth. You can't say that you beat. That there's no chance because
Okay.
we go back and forth.
Okay,
with
but the
Mario
other
Kart.
2, I win every time.
What was the first one you said?
Toy Story Mania,
The second one?
Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger Spin.
Sometimes I tie you in that.
Yeah, if we're both galactic heroes.
Yeah.
There's a max score.
Okay, we're still tied.
What a
The only
hard
one
ride.
you can say no chance is Toy Story Mania, and I think I have beat you once at Toy Story Mania.
I don't think so.
No, I think one time I did beat you.
Okay, I'll let you have that then. There's no proof. So you if that helps you sleep, yeah, sure. Oh,
You're
I'm
gonna have no problem sleeping.
I'm so proud of you for that one time you beat me that one time. That's so great. All right, my number 4. Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway.
I love this ride.
Me too. Which actually, I didn't really care that much. Oh, hot take. Sorry, guys. I didn't really care that much when they got rid of the Great Movie Ride. I know. The thing is, I didn't grow up going to Disney every year.
Same.
I didn't get, like, we grew up, we went every few years, and then there was a pretty big gap right around the time of the recession, and then I went back as a teenager, and that was when, like, the love kind of started again. Like, it never was gone. We were always a Disney family,
Yeah.
but we were a Disney family at home, and then was a Disney World family again once I was, like, in high school,
Yeah.
I guess. So I didn't, like, have that core memory of the Great Movie Ride.
I don't remember it at all.
I remember it, pieces of it. I remember being scared when the gangsters came on, and I remember the Wicked Witch was creepy. But, like, I don't remember a crazy amount, and I listened to my mom talk about it, and, like, I get why people loved it, because
Hmm.
my mom is a Disney adult, and hearing, like, the passion in her voice when she talks
Yeah.
about it, I'm like, "Yes, I get it." I'm sure this is how I talk about some Disney things, but, like, I just don't have that. So when they brought in Mickey and Minnie's, it was like, "Okay, cool, what's this gonna be?" Very open-minded with it because it wasn't that upsetting for me.
Hmm.
And then they opened it, and I thought it was absolutely phenomenal and so fun, and a great nod to the cartoons, which are some of the funniest
Oh, the cartoons are
cartoons
great.
and are just hilarious. So good. And I just thought that they really crushed it with the ride. So it's my number 4.
That's fair. I think that's probably where I would have guessed that you would have put it.
Mm-hmm.
But all right, my number 3. I don't know if my number 3 is on your list.
Okay, let's hear it.
Smuggler's Run.
It's not on my list.
I figured it wouldn't be. I figured it was
No.
probably like the 5 to 10 range.
It actually, yeah, probably around there.
Yeah, like probably closer to 10, but like in that range somewhere. Anyway, Smuggler's Run I think is super fun. I think it's better than Rise of the Resistance because of the interaction.
The fact that you get to drive the Millennium Falcon.
Yeah,
And
but even if you're not getting to drive the Millennium Falcon, like if you're in a car, even with people that you might not know, like it's still fun to watch everything happen, and everybody gets to be a part of that ride. Like you're not just like sitting there watching stuff going on. Even if you're the engineer or the gunner, like even if you're the engineer, you still get to press buttons while you're on there. Some people get sick, but that's just something you got to figure out on your own, I guess. If you're the pilot, it's if I could be the pilot every time, it might be like number 2 on my list
that's fair. I actually,
because it's
yeah.
being the pilot on Smuggler's Run is so fun.
If I could be the pilot every time, it probably would have made my top 5.
Yeah.
Not being a Star Wars person is partially why it didn't make my top 5.
See, I'm not even a Star Wars person. I just think it's so fun.
That's fair.
Even as a gunner, like being able to just press the button a million times, I feel like I'm doing something.
You are. You are. Last time I was a gunner, I broke the button because I pressed it too hard and it fell off in my hand. And I was like, Disney? SOS?
Yeah. But I love the storyline of the ride. I love, like I said, the interaction, the queue, everything like surrounding it I think is awesome. And yeah, number 3 for me.
That's a good number 3. I can understand that number 3. I'm actually excited. Wait, no, well, I was going to say I'm excited to see if Rise of the Resistance made your list, but you said it didn't.
Did not.
Did not. And Rise of the Resistance, I've said this before on the podcast. I'll say it again. If you're a Star Wars fan, Rise of the Resistance is going to be the better ride for you. If you are not a Star Wars fan, you're going to like Smuggler's Run better.
Probably, yeah.
It's that interaction. Rise of the Resistance paints a beautiful picture, tells a great story, really makes you part of the story. But if you don't know Star Wars, it's hard to really comprehend what that story is. Not hard to comprehend, but it's hard to really...
It's hard to appreciate it.
It's hard to appreciate it, yeah, because like it took me a few tries and then I finally comprehended it. And then I still am just like, oh, that's cool. Like, it's cool.
Yeah.
It's cool. I think that the ride mechanism is cool, but, like, also they have the same ride mechanism at Ratatouille, so, like, how much is that, you know? So,
yeah,
there are definitely some great parts of it, but if I don't ride it on my trip, I'm not heartbroken about it.
Yeah, and I kind of do get a little upset if we don't make it over to Smuggler's Run.
Yeah, that's fair. I agree with that.
That was part of the reason I put it at 3.
It's also helpful that Smuggler's Run tends to have a shorter wait time.
It does, yeah. Which is great because at one point it was super long and now it's a bearable wait time and I'm okay with waiting in the line for it.
I agree. And it's air conditioned.
Yeah.
All right, my number 3. I just looked at my list. I don't know what past Gina was thinking. This is not where I thought this was going to be. My number 3 is apparently Toy Story Mania.
I thought it would have been higher.
So did I. I put it at number 3 though.
I am genuinely curious what your number 2 is going to be. Because I would have put it at number 2.
Yeah, no, apparently I put it at 3.
Okay, well, let's hear from past Gina. Why?
Well, she really likes the ride, but there's 2 things that she decided she liked more. But I'm really torn. So this is not new. Can I say my 3 and my 2 at one time?
Sure, go for it.
Because I say this all the time on the podcast that depending on the day and my mood of the day, Tower of Terror could be my number 1 or Toy Story Mania could be my number 1. And I made them numbers 2 and 3.
What's number 1?
So Tower of Terror is my 2, Toy Story Mania is my 3, but that is like super interchangeable depending on the day.
Yeah, I would have thought those would have been 1 and 2 for you. So now I'm incredibly intrigued at what number 1 is going to be.
So intrigued. Yeah, no, those are my 2 and 3. I love both of these rides. These are 2 rides. Here's my logic on them. I can ride them over and over and over again and not feel like I got enough. Like, you could tell me, like, all right, we're going to get back in line. And I'm like, okay, let's do it. Let's get back in line. Let's keep riding. Oh, you haven't ridden it yet today? I'll go ride with you because not only do I love you, I love that ride. Probably love that ride more than. I'm just kidding. But I really will just keep riding both of them over and over again. My arm's sore, I switch arms. I don't care. I'm fine. I'll make it work. I want to ride Toy Story Mania again. I want to ride Tower of Terror again. And they're both like, they're so different. And
yeah, they're very different rides.
They're very different rides. And I love them both so much.
That's understandable.
They both have phenomenal cues.
Yeah.
Like, they both have just so much going for them. Great gift shops at the end of both of them.
That's true.
Never buy anything because I'm cheap, but great gift shops at the end of both of them.
So both of these are rides that you are incredibly disappointed if you don't get to them on your vacation.
Oh, 1,000%. Like, last week we did an episode, My Disney Vacation is Not Complete Without. And if we said my Hollywood Studios day is not complete without, both of these would be my top 2.
Okay.
Because it's not. I really don't feel like I had a good day in Hollywood Studios if I didn't ride each of them at least once. But I would choose riding them over and over again before I would choose some other rides.
Okay.
Before I would choose some things that are below them on my list. I would ride both of them 2 times before I'd go see Frozen.
That's fair. I would also do that.
But Frozen's number 5 on my list. Like, I would ride both of them over and over again. Oh, if Rock and Roller Coaster has a crazy wait, I'm like, cool, let's go ride Tower of Terror again.
Yeah, Tower of Terror is, in my opinion, better than Rock and Roller Coaster. So.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I would say hot take, but I don't think that's that hot of a take.
I don't think so.
I think everybody in the world appreciates Rock and Roller Coaster, but most people like Tower of Terror more. If you like drop rides.
Yeah, if you don't like drop rides, then obviously that's not for you. But
a lot of the people who are like, oh, Rockin's better, are the same people who tell me that they can't ride a drop ride because they get sick or they're like what have you. So I'm like, well, that's not fair. That's not a fair argument. You just said you throw up. Yeah. Like, of course you're going to like that better. Like, I want to hear tell me which one you think is better if you are completely capable of riding and enjoying both.
Yeah. An objective, non-biased opinion.
Well, it's like Haunted Mansion won't be on my top 5 for Magic Kingdom because I am petrified of Ghost and won't ride that alone. Which is so funny because Tower of Terror is up there and that's all Ghost. But I close my eyes for some parts. I'm not going to lie. It's just funny. So fun.
All right, my number 2.
Okay.
And we are now in the territory where I have to ride these rides or I will be in a very bad mood.
Or he will cry.
Like, Smuggler's Run is like, I really want to get to it, and it's something that is on my priority list for the day. But if I don't get to this one or my first one, then I'm in a really bad mood. And the day honestly went in a really poor direction because there's no reason that I shouldn't be able to get on both of them every time. But number 2 for me is Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. It is so close. Like, to my number 1 is, let's say, at 100. And my number 2 is at like 99.5. Like,
no
it's
way.
So close.
It reached that high.
I love Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. It's so fun to me. The queue is awesome. The ride mechanism is awesome. The ride itself is awesome. Like you said, all of the stories, it's so much better. If you haven't watched the cartoons, go watch the cartoons and then ride Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. And you like get all the references that are in the ride from the show. I just think the ride is very well done. And I have to go ride it. And I enjoy every single time that I ride it.
Potato Land!
Even little stuff like that. That's not in the ride, but it's like off to the side. Like it's just fun.
I agree. I completely agree with you. People don't like the cartoons and it makes me sad. Have you watched, there's a story on Disney Plus that's all about Mickey Mouse. The whole thing is a documentary on Mickey Mouse. Have you watched it?
I don't think so. It doesn't sound familiar.
It's really, really good. And one of the things they talk about is that when they made Goofy and they made Donald, it was to kind of take the anger out of Mickey Mouse and to take the goofiness out of Mickey Mouse because he was being like, he would do things that were considered like bad because he was like angry or because he was like a little ditzy kind of thing. Yeah. And he would do like dumb things and then kids were repeating it. So they made Donald and Goofy. which isn't the full reason, but it's kind of how they developed their personalities.
Okay.
And it ended up taking away a lot of Mickey Mouse's personality.
Yeah.
When you see him, he's kind of just like the face. And if you watch some cartoons, you do really see that. He's a lot more poised than Donald
Yeah.
and Goofy tend to be.
Definitely.
And the animators on this documentary were talking about how that cartoon brought back the authentic Mickey Mouse. Like, that brought back the old style.
He's a little more chaotic. And
yes,
not
of what
as put together.
he would get angry. He would do goofy things. Like,
Yeah.
but he still was a good friend, and he still loved Minnie, and he still had all of these attributes about him. But he also got back some of his old personality, and that's what that cartoon did.
Uh-huh.
And it just made me love Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway even more.
Okay, that's understandable.
Mm-hmm. It just made me really happy, and I highly recommend watching the documentary because it's so good. So I just looked it up. It came out in 2022, and it is literally just called Mickey, the Story of a Mouse.
Okay.
And it's all about Mickey Mouse. It's so good. It really is, and it's going to make you appreciate that ride even more if you don't already.
Okay, I'll have to give that one a watch. Also,
and the cartoons.
Yeah, like I said, if you haven't watched the cartoons, definitely go give those a
They're
watch.
so
Because
funny.
they are really funny.
They're the stupidest humor, and it's so good.
But
you
yeah.
have to watch them, though. They're not background cartoons because the facial expressions they make and the things that they do in those cartoons are like old school Saturday morning cartoon antics.
Yeah.
So you can't just like put it on in the background. I've tried. You have to.
You get locked in if you try to put it on in the background.
And then you'll miss the jokes too because
Yeah.
some of the jokes are just physical comedy.
Yeah.
It's so good.
But yeah, this can ruin my vacation if I don't get to ride this ride. So
Your whole Disney vacation down the drain, all that money
not down
wasted.
the drain, not down the drain, but like I will be upset if I don't get to ride this ride while we're down there.
Okay.
If we're going to Hollywood Studios, if we're not going to Hollywood Studios, then obviously I'm not gonna be upset. But yeah, so that's why this is at number 2.
Love it. All right, what's your number 1?
My number 1 is Tower of Terror.
No. Tell me why.
I don't think anyone saw that coming. Again, will genuinely make my day worse if I don't get to ride it at least once, if not 5 times. The repeatability of it is fantastic. I can ride it, get on it again, ride it again. I am getting older, and I do get a little bit sick on it now, but I still am okay with riding it over and over again. It's not like Everest where I need a break. Everest, I need a break now, but Tower of Terror, I can just ride over and over again, and I'm totally fine. Another one like Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, the movie makes the ride better. If you haven't watched the movie, go watch the movie.
Except it's the opposite, where the movie is actually based off the ride and use the ride a little bit for filming, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's on YouTube. It's not on Disney Plus. You have to go on YouTube and type in Tower of Terror movie.
But yeah, that one is definitely my number 1. Obviously, I have good memories there as well, so that's going to keep it up at the at the top of the list. But I objectively think it's a really good ride too.
Rick proposed to me in front of Tower of Terror. I don't know why he's not telling the listeners that. That's the great memory. It better be, at least.
One time I got really good ice cream.
There's really great ice cream outside Tower of Terror.
If you haven't heard of Hollywood Scoops, go check it out.
Yeah, well, I got a diamond ring. I win. Hollywood Scoops is so good.
I love Hollywood Scoops.
Their brownie sundae is phenomenal.
The waffles are amazing.
So
the
true.
blueberry waffles that we had last time we were there.
Waffles and ice cream, baby. So
It
good.
was a great. It was
the
a great
most
move.
expensive ice cream I ever bought because you have to buy them as 2 separate things. So I bought the waffles and bought the ice cream,
was
put
so
them
worth
together,
it.
and it was so good.
It was so worth it.
Love waffles and ice cream.
But yeah, that's number 1 for me. So let's hear it. The one that beats them all.
Fantasmic.
Okay. I had a feeling that this might be it. When you asked me if we were including
Fantasmic.
not rides.
Well, no, I originally said like shows will be included, and then we were sitting at dinner, and I was like, Fantasmic counts as a show, right? Because spoiler alert, it's on my list.
Yeah, I mean, go ahead and explain why it's number 1.
It's phenomenal. It's so fun. They just redid it recently, about 2 years ago, when they brought it back post-COVID, and somehow they made this great show even better. I think it is such a great show for all ages. I love it. I love so much about it. I love it in Disney World. I love it in Disneyland. It is worth staying up nice and late for. If there's 2 shows, always go to the second show. It's going to be less crowded.
Yeah.
but you get your popcorn, you sit there, you enjoy it. It's just so fun, and it's such a magical show, and it's with Mickey Mouse, and then just so many key big characters that I just feel so strongly like I'm on my Disney vacation when I'm sitting there. It just is like the essence of a Disney production.
Yeah, I was gonna say the show itself is fantastic. All like
It's
the storyline,
fantastic.
everything. I know. It's great. But one of my favorite parts about the show is the use of the stage and the area that they have, like with the water, the fire, just the amphitheater itself. I think is set up really well. Like there's not really a bad viewing spot in my opinion. Like even if you're off to the side, you still see most, if not all, of the show. Where I feel like a lot of shows you can get some bad seats.
And it kind of goes back to what I was saying about Toy Story Mania, if not older. Like, it's old school Disney. And when they redid it a few years ago, they didn't get rid of that old school Disney feel. Yeah. They just modernized it, which made it even better. They added modern pyrotechnics. They added they constantly are adding new characters because they have the ability to just change the videos that they show during it. But they literally changed the scenes to more modern scenes. Now Moana is the star of the one section. Yeah. It wasn't even thought of when they came out with the original show. And now she's a main character. And Elsa is a main character. Like, the fact that they can do that but still keep that integrity of the show and just keep that amazing old school I love Disney feeling. Like, the thing that made everyone fall in love with Disney.
Yeah.
The people our age and older, and our parents and their parents going to Walt Disney World and falling in love with Disney and the Disney parks, like, that is fantastic to me.
That makes sense.
Thank you.
It's a great show.
So good. And if you haven't seen it yet, I hope I didn't just set the standards too high for you. It's really good, I promise.
Yeah, it's worth a watch for sure. So my top 5, I have
in order:
Tower at number 1, Mickey and Minnie's at number 2. Smuggler's Run at 3, Toy Story Mania at 4, and Rock and Roller Coaster at 5.
I have Fantasmic at 1, Tower of Terror at 2, Toy Story Mania at 3, although 2 and 3 can be interchangeable. And then I have Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway at 4, and for the first time in forever, a Frozen Sing-Along at 5.
Okay. Big show park for you then.
Apparently. Who knew? I would have never guessed it. 2 out of 5 are shows. That's pretty good. Those are pretty high odds. Okay, so now we're going into our least favorite 2. Start with save the worst for last.
Okay.
Go ahead.
All right, so my second to least favorite attraction / ride in Hollywood Studios is only what it is because, like Fantasmic, they changed it recently, but it's now way worse than it used to be, and that would be Indiana Jones.
That's fair.
If it was the old show before they changed it, it wouldn't be second to last on my thing. It might actually be closer to my top 5. But I really did not like the new. I don't even know if it's a whole new show or if they just took some of the
they
stuff
just
out.
Changed things, took stuff out, rearranged it. Now you watch it and you're like, this is kind of boring.
It wasn't as good last time we saw it.
It's not as engaging.
Yeah. And
it just is very lackluster, in my opinion. And that could be because of how good I remember it being, but I do agree. It's just very lackluster.
Yeah, it's one of those ones where it's like, if someone's like, can we go see this? I'll be like, okay,
sure.
yeah, I guess we can go see it. But it's not going to be anything that I prioritize over my 5th time on Tower of Terror.
Which is crazy because it used to be. It used to be something that I made it a point to see every time I was there. I've been in it when they would do the volunteers, and it's something very fun to do, and it's fun to see. And yeah, when they changed it post-COVID, I just don't think they changed it for the better. Complete opposite of Fantasmic. I really think that it was old school Disney. It was one of the really early attractions in Hollywood Studios. It was very old school 80s Disney, and they did not change it for the better. I agree. I don't know how much life it has left, in my opinion. I think that it's almost just there because they don't know what else to put there yet, but I'm sure they'll think of something.
Yeah, I think they will. I can definitely see it, especially with the new Indiana Jones ride going to be coming to Animal Kingdom. I can't imagine it's going to stay at Hollywood Studios much longer.
Yeah, it'll be interesting.
Yeah. So yeah, that's my second to least favorite.
Okay. Now I'm really curious what your least favorite is. I had a lot of trouble coming up with my second to least favorite. I really did.
You had 2, right, that you were between?
I had 2, and then it moved to 3, and then it went back to 2. But the issue is that I still like both of these things.
Okay.
But I just can't. I'm really struggling to just like pinpoint, like, okay, this is it. So I'm going based off of if it was the end of the night and I can only go on one of them, which one am I going on?
Can I make a guess of what your second release is going to be?
Yeah.
Star Tours?
No, I love Star
I'm
Tours.
sorry.
Oh my gosh, Star Tours is phenomenal.
Didn't make your top 5. It's not that great.
Yeah, that's true. You know what? Maybe it is Star Tours. Because I'm thinking, like, it's hard because the 2 rides that I'm going back and forth between are, on paper, way better than Star Tours. So this is my really hot take.
Okay.
The 2 rides I'm currently going back and forth between are Slinky Dog Dash and Rise of the Resistance, which are arguably 2 of the best rides in Hollywood studios.
Yes and no. I think Slinky Dog is incredibly underwhelming.
It's phenomenal if you have children.
Yeah.
For the child, not for you.
As a roller coaster, it's very underwhelming in my opinion.
Yeah. But it's great for like a kid's for one of their first coasters. Not their first. Their first should be Barnstormer, but for one of their first, it is great for that.
Yeah.
During the day, it's really underwhelming, but it's really fun at night, which I think
is
is
when it's
why
lit
my
up, it's cool.
answer is. Oh, but Rise of the Resistance, it locks you in. There's a whole story that you're invested in. Okay, alien swirling saucers. Final answer.
That's your second to least favorite?
I guess so, but I love that ride too because it's like teacups, but more fun. I do love the ride. The music plays. It's so much fun.
I can't wait to hear what your least favorite is.
I'm really struggling. If you can't tell right now,
I can tell. Trust me.
alien swirling saucers.
Okay, that's my least favorite. So.
Oh, but Voyage of the Little Mermaid. But that's not out right. That's not open right now.
Yeah, I didn't count that one because it's not open right now.
And it's coming back better.
Yeah, I was gonna because that would have been one of my least favorites, but it's not open right now, so I didn't count it. But yeah, Alien Swirling Saucers. Since you said that's your second least favorite, that's my least favorite.
Because you get sick.
It's also just not that fun to me.
Yeah, you're not the clientele it's aimed at, though.
Yeah, which is fine. I don't personally enjoy the ride all that much.
That's fair. I respect that.
Yeah.
Well, my least favorite. I don't know if I actually gave an answer there on what my second to least favorite was.
You said Swirling Saucers.
Okay, yeah, we'll stick with that then. That sounds good. I don't know if I'm actually meaning that. That was really half-heartedly answered. But full-heartedly answered goes to my least favorite, which is Indiana Jones Unspectacular.
Okay. Yeah.
Same thing Rick said, same thing I said while talking about Rick's. It just used to be great, and I believe we actually did a really similar episode to this when the podcast first started, which was almost 200 episodes ago, which is wild. But we did an episode really similar to this, and I actually think it was in my top 5.
Indiana Jones was?
Yes, because
Yeah.
I think we did it before everything had reopened.
Okay.
So it was still getting classified as the old Indiana Jones. And now that I've gone back and have seen it a few times as the new Indiana Jones, and if you haven't seen it, you're not going to think it's bad. It's not. It's not terrible. But when you're comparing it to what it was,
Yeah.
it's like knowing what it could be that it's not meeting.
Yeah.
It's not meeting its expectation. No, what's the word? Potential?
Yeah, potential. That's
It's
a good
not
one.
meeting its potential because we know the potential. We know it
Yeah.
could be this, if not better, because Disney magic, you
Mhm.
know? So that's my least favorite. That is my, if I don't get to see it when I'm there, okay, I didn't get to see it when I'm there, that's fine.
That's funny. I didn't expect our least favorites to just be flip-flopped like that. I expected our top 5 to be like somewhat similar for the most part, but our bottom 2 I didn't expect.
I didn't know what my bottom 2 was, clearly, so I didn't expect it either. I had a feeling yours was going to be Alien Swirling Saucers because I know you get sick on it, and I know it's like not your cup of tea.
Uh-huh.
So I expected that to be there. But you didn't think I was going to say Slinky Dog or Rise of the Resistance.
I honestly totally, and this might get some people. I totally forgot about Slinky Dog Dash because I just push it to the back of my brain because I don't enjoy the ride.
I enjoy the ride. I just don't think it's worth the wait time that it gets
It's not.
if you don't have kids with you. It's great at night, but it's still like don't wait more than like 30 minutes at night. It's great to like get
Even
on as your
that's too
last
much.
thing.
Even 30 minutes for me is too much for that one.
Yeah,
Because it's such a short ride.
and during midday when it's just hot.
And it's like 90 minutes. No thanks.
Yeah, it's so hot in that queue. No, I'm not going near it. I won't touch it with a 10-foot pole.
If you can give me a 15-minute wait for the nighttime ride, I'll go ride it.
Oh yeah. Like I said, under 30, I'll go ride it.
Mm-hmm.
Rise of the Resistance, I feel the same way. Under 30, I'll go ride it. I don't know Star Wars, so it's not worth me going to. And
Yeah.
when I put it on there, that's just me being completely selfish and in my own head. It is a great ride. It's
Yeah.
a phenomenal ride, and
Objectively,
you
it's
should
a very
go
good
ride
ride.
it, especially if you're a Star Wars person. It's probably going to be ranked number 1 on your list, and there's
Mhm.
probably people screaming at the podcast right now.
100%.
I was surprised Muppets wasn't on your top 5.
I do really like that one. That one, honestly, that was a close one.
Yeah?
Yeah, it almost did.
What would it have knocked out?
Rock and Roller Coaster.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you shouldn't.
I don't know if it's I don't know if it's quite at 6, but it's probably in like the 7 to 8 range for me.
Okay. What's 6?
I off the top of my head, I don't know.
Okay.
But I just don't think that one's right there.
Okay.
But it's definitely in like the 7 to 8 range because I do really enjoy Muppet Vision 3D.
Okay. I agree. It's fair.
Mostly because they have no cheap 3D tricks, you know.
Did someone say cheap 3D tricks? It's a glorious 3-hour finale.
You got a minute and a
It's just so quotable.
half.
All right, but that is it. Remember, if you're not already following us on social media, go ahead over and give us a follow. We are at Spility Podcast on Instagram, at Spility Pod on TikTok. You can comment. If you're listening on Spotify, comment right on this episode and tell us what you think. If you agree with us, what your number 1 is, whatever you want to share. And you can also leave us a review. We accept 5 stars, preferably, please. On Apple Podcasts or Spotify, you can leave a review, and we do really appreciate it. It's the best way to get the podcast out there. The more reviews we have, the more that the algorithms push it out. So make sure you're following us. Make sure you're leaving reviews. And until next week, we will
See you at the castle.